Good morning.
Good morning.
It's fantastic to be with you. Thank you for that lovely music. My goodness, you guys are very blessed to have rich talent in this church. I'm happy to be here. This is part 2 in an 8-part series titled Understanding a New Spirituality, and it's really an explanation of the path that I have walked. That's really what it is. My intent in presenting these 8 segments is to have it available to share with people who are interested in the shift that's happening within society now. Have you noticed that something's happening within the spiritual communities of Western society specifically? Yeah, it's significant, isn't it? My goodness, people are saying the old just doesn't work anymore. For whatever reason, it doesn't work. It doesn't mean that it wasn't valid or that it isn't valid today. What it does mean is that it doesn't address my spiritual issues like I need it to today. So that's the intent of these 8 segments. Today, we are focused on my life and why am I here. By the way, I've got to tell you that philosophers and theologians have addressed this issue, of course, since the beginning of time. And so you're very fortunate to have the one person who has ever lived that really does understand this issue today.
All right.
And,
we're so
you're really blessed today, aren't you? Not after that music, but now you got me. So, okay. The unanswerable questions. What is the nature of God? I mean, everyone has wrestled with that individually. Theologians make a livelihood out of addressing that issue. Where did we come from? Well, we in New Thought say that we have the answer to that, don't we? Okay, where are we going to go from here? We say that we know the answer to that one as well. Where are we going? Why are we here? I'm sorry. Why are we here? We say that we understand the purpose for our being here today, which is what I'm going to address in just a couple of minutes if I can talk correctly. And then where do we go when this life is over? When this physical life lays down, where do we go from there? All that in 30 minutes. It's incredible. Here's the 5 basic unity principles, which I find to be very valuable and helps us keep focused on the idea of where should my spirituality be focused, if I can say that twice. First of all, there's only one presence and one power active in the universe, and as my life, God the good. Secondly, our essence is of God. Therefore, we are inherently good. This God essence, called the Christ, was fully expressed in Jesus. Third, we are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. Fourth, through prayer and meditation, we align our heart-mind with God. Denials and affirmations are tools we use. And lastly, through thoughts, words, and actions, we live the truth we know. Foundational stuff for anyone in New Thought spirituality, like us. Now, I've got an expanded list that I use for myself, and I wanted to share today's presentation with you just to give you an idea of the foundation that I stand upon as I am pursuing my own spirituality. Excuse me. I have 8 of them. First of all, I believe that we are individual expressions of the divine's creative impulse, and as such, we are here to co-create, to express our divine natures through our humanity, and to experience the other as it, too, reconnects with the all. Now, that's a lot of spiritual words, isn't it? It simply means that we are here to create, to express, and to experience. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit more. Secondly, I believe in practicing and living both principles of do no harm and do right. And do right, thus enhancing the healing, creative, vibrational level of humanity. In other words, choose to do the right thing. You know, there's a reason that the Christian scriptures have such an emphasis in your morality, in your behavior, in how you deal with others in your life. And it's because it affects not only them if you do them wrong, but also affects you. And if you do right, it not only blesses you, but it blesses everyone else as well, doesn't it? So choose to do the right thing. Third, I believe in the indomitable power of the spiritually attuned, creative, cooperative human spirit to ultimately triumph in the face of dilemma and to gain personal understanding, insight, and meaning through the process. Holy cow. In other words, follow your dreams, help others, and don't give up. Fourth, I believe the answers we seek already exist within us and are unlocked through spiritual practice and life application. Go within for the answers. Fifth, I embrace the differences that make human beings unique, recognizing that we all come from star material and are, therefore, equal, irrespective of race, heritage, beliefs, gender, or gender preference. One planet, one race, one ancestry, one destiny. We are each different, but each individually made from the same source. Sixth, and we're getting there. Sixth, I believe the nature of a human being encompasses both the physical and spiritual aspect, and that human consciousness survives the death of the physical body in a coherent fashion and will return again and again. Thus, death opens a new chapter of life and conducts the individual into a higher state of existence. Life does not end with the end of this life. We are eternal. Seventh, I believe in self-acceptance, self-responsibility, and respect for free will, and that these three synergistically create the goal of self-completeness or self-actualization. The power that created me has given me the power and responsibility to create my own circumstances. And lastly, I believe in the value of practical education in metaphysics and the creative application of life skills as a means of empowering the human spirit and enhancing the human condition. Education fuels my dreams, and I create from possibility. So that's the foundation that I am operating from. Now, it's not a complete list. It will change as I change in my life. But it's where I stand today, and it's the truth that I understand today. So my life, why am I here? Well, basically, we can sum it down to three things. First of all, we are here to create. We are co-creators with the eternal, with the divine, with God, with Source. Your reason for being here is to complete the divine picture. What is the divine picture? Well, it's your life. That desire that you have to create, that's something inside that simply won't let you go. That's something that says, I need to be operative within your life in a creative, positive way, is God's voice, God's impetus working through you. You are co-creating with God. Your first reason for being here is to create. Or in other words, we can say, how do I discover my divine nature? Well, you discover that through your creation. You know, someone in our old Christian communities would say, what is God's will for your life? Well, God's will for your life is within you. If you go within and listen to it, and take that still small voice and begin to apply it to the desires and the goals of your life, you will understand God's will for your life, if we can put it in those terms. Secondly, where do I want my life to change? Or where do I want to change my life? Every time, almost every time, let me back up here, that I have counseled someone coming into a spiritual walk, they have had issues within their lives that they have had to address. It's like I've got habits, I've got problems, I've got relationships that need to be healed, and where do I start? They're so overwhelming. Well, the answer is you go within, you find your source, and you begin to address them one at a time. You begin to express your divine nature in every action you take as you walk through your day. You know right and wrong, don't you? Now, it is true that every society has different values for what's right and wrong, with a few exceptions. In every society that we have studied around the world, it is always wrong to kill. It is always wrong to steal. It is always wrong to take advantage of another person's life partner. Those three things never change. Everything else is amenable to the culture that we are a part of. But within that, and within the society and the culture that you find yourself in, you know what is right and wrong. If you want to change your life, go within, find your divine nature, and begin to express the higher values, the higher impetus, the higher influence in your life, in every relationship, in every transaction, in every activity. So as you create, as you begin to do those things that you naturally wish and desire to do, make sure that you bring the values that are your divine nature into that creation, so that what you are creating is of the highest essence. It is of the highest quality. And what kind of life do I want? Now this is like asking the other two questions again. But we're looking at it in the rear view mirror. When everything is said and done, what is it that you are hoping to create? What is the life that you hope to leave as your legacy? What is it that you want to experience? That is why you're here. And so, if you've ever wondered, if you ever talked with those theologians or philosophers that don't have the answer, just ask them to give me a call. Now, this is not really a downer, but it's kind of like a wake-up. I was on the AARP website. I know you don't think I'm old enough to belong, but I just barely make that lower limit cutoff. But yeah, I'm a member of AARP, and I saw this on here, the top 5 regrets of the dying. And I said, well, I know that all of you are going to die someday, and I don't think I am, but it's like, for you, I thought I would put this up there. I'm just kidding. But here is the 5th, not the highest, but the 5th highest regret that people say they had as they are approaching their final days. First of all, I wish I had let myself be happy. Oh my goodness. Would you believe that happiness is first of all a choice? Just like joy is first of all a choice. Just like the peace within our hearts is first of all a choice. Isn't that incredible? It's a choice. So yes, I choose to be happy. Well, what happens if I'm in a situation where I can't be happy? You begin to create the happiness where you are. You begin to use the create, the express, the experience, reasons for your life here in order to create that happiness. This is surprisingly common. Many do not realize that happiness is a choice. They are stuck in old patterns and habits. The so-called comfort of familiarity overflows into their emotions as well as their physical lives. Fear of change has them pretending to others and to themselves that they are content, while deep within they long to laugh and have joy and even silliness in their life. Life is a choice. It is my choice. I choose consciously, wisely, and honestly. I choose happiness. Here's the 4th highest regret. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Often people do not realize the full benefits of old friends until their dying weeks, but it may not be possible to track them down. Many become so caught up in their own lives that they let golden friendships slip by over the years. There can be deep regrets about not giving friendships the time and effort they deserve. There's a reason that we are gregarious people. It's because we all co-create together. We are all in this together. We are all made from the same star stuff. We are all made from the same creator, from spirit, from source. We are all one. We are all one spirit. Individual expressions living in individual physical existences, but we are all one. When you make a good friend, do what you can to maintain that friendship. Thirdly, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. You ever felt that way? Ever felt stuffed in a box? I'm retired military, and one of the things that people in those organizations have to deal with, that individuals in those organizations have to deal with lifelong, is their emotions, because one of the early things we learn is how not to respond emotionally, how you turn your emotions off, how you deny the fact that you are a human being doing inhuman things. had learned to express my feelings. One of the things that I do these days in my older years is I consciously express my emotions. It feels awkward sometimes, let me tell you. It just feels awkward. Especially if I go to the movies with my wife and it's a tender moment and I'm letting myself cry. Now, I know the rest of you men have never done that. But if I let myself cry, it just feels so awkward. It's like, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? It's like, oh yeah, I'm being genuine to myself. I'm letting myself feel what I normally would have turned off. I wish I had the courage to express my feelings. Now that goes into relationships too. If you have someone that's dominating you, someone that is harming you, you have the responsibility for your own self to express that. Tell them to stop. Tell them to back off. Tell them that what they are doing is not good, not appropriate, or whatever. Express your own emotions. Connect with them so that that doesn't stay within you, so that that doesn't begin to fester and to make you ill. Emotions that are bottled up are emotions that will come out through your body physically. Okay? Make sure you let them pass through. Now you have to do it in a responsible way, don't you? If you've been drinking and you decide that you're going to tell people off, that's not a good thing. That's not the time to let go, okay? Secondly, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Now I've got a quote up here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is a nurse that was reporting this ARP. And she said, this came from every male patient I nursed. They missed their children's youth and their partner's companionship. Women also spoke of this regret, but since most were from an older generation, many of the female patients had not been breadwinners. But all of the men I nursed deeply regret spending so much of their lives on the treadmill of a work existence. Take time to be with your family, create memories with a bond of love, and have fun. It's a choice, isn't it? It's a choice. It's a choice. Are you going to be with your family? Are you going to enjoy your life with them and their life with you? You have to make the choice. You have to take the time. You have to spend the money. You have to force yourself to go have fun. Sounds counterintuitive, but we do, don't we? You have to tell yourself, I am going to do that with my family. And lastly, I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. The reason I'm standing up here today is this one right here. I got to the point in a traditional religious setting where I just couldn't do it anymore. It's like, this just doesn't work. It doesn't work. I don't even know why I attend services. I come home more frustrated than when I went. It doesn't address the life issues that I'm experiencing. What is up with this? It's all about organization. Where's the connection with the divine? How come I'm not learning how to be me? One day I said, I am going to find what works spiritually. One of the first books I picked up was one of the Unity writers. The Prayer Way to Health, Wealth, and Happiness. I can't remember the name, the author's name. You guys remember that one? I read that, and all of a sudden, it was like a switch flipped. And I said, that's it, isn't it? That is it. We have the divine within us. All we have to do is make contact, go within, connect with it, and let it become resident in our daily lives. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. This is the most common regret of all when people realize that their life is almost over and look back clearly on it. It is easy to see how many dreams have gone unfulfilled. Most people have not honored even half of their dreams and faced death knowing that their life's disappointment was due to choices they had made or not made. Make the choices that you need to make. Be the person that you need to be. Aren't you ready to live the life of your dreams? You know, that was kind of the theme of my last presentation here. Aren't you ready to choose? Ready to choose. Aren't you ready to be the person that you really want to be? What do you want to experience in life? What do you want to express? What do you want to create? Are you planning the life that you wish to live, or are you letting others dictate your life to you?